Greetings, my peeps, and welcome to the All Things Basketball Podcast with your boy GD. In this episode, my Week 13 recap, we'll talk about Rich Paul running off at the mouth about the Lakers. We'll talk about that. Also, the NBA All-Star starters have been revealed. We'll talk about that also. Also, guys, some milestones, quite a few actually. We'll get through those. Injuries, performances, my players of the week, of course. And also, Del Curry to be honored by the Charlotte Hornets. And Kyle Lowry making his last appearance in Toronto. So all that and more. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Okay, guys, it's your boy GD back with the All Things Basketball with GD podcast. And guys, we are upon week 14, which means our week 13 recap is on the way. So we'll talk about that. Not much women's stuff I want to get into. Right now, they have a moratorium as far as what kind of moving and shaking they can do in the WNBA. So they're still working without a deadline. So, again, I think this will be kind of a slow process, but I figure something will start really being major next month as far as that goes. So that's what I'm banking on. That's what we'll see what happens. So there you go. All right, but nonetheless, let's get into all this news, guys. Of course, we will start, as we always do, with our players of the week. Let's start in the West. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for the Oklahoma City Thunder, the top team in the league, of course. They went 2-1 for the week, guys. They beat San Antonio Spurs. Finally, they beat them in a game I actually watched. And yeah, they took them to the woodshed finally. So they got the win there. They went to Houston, beat them. They did lose at Miami, where SGA dropped 39, but all for naught. So, but nonetheless, he gets player of the week. He averaged 31 points per game, 4 assists, nearly 4 rebounds, and he averaged 2 blocks as well. So that's pretty good. His shooting percentage is more normal. You know, I've been talking about him as of late, that the shooting percentage wasn't there, but he had a good week as far as shooting the ball, nearly 55%. That's more of his norm. He shot it 4 for 10 from 3, which you like that coming from him. And then he went to the free throw 34 times, missed only 3 guys. So SGA doing SGA things, thus getting player of the week in the Western Conference. In the East, Bam Adebayo for the Miami Heat. Guys, he was in a bit of a slump coming into this week, guys, where he wasn't shooting the ball all that well, but he breaks out this week. His team goes 2-1, beating the Sixers, and as I said, OKC, they beat them where he dropped 30 in that game. They did, however, lose at home to Boston, so which seemed like a lot of teams lately are starting to lose to Boston, but that's a story for another day. He averaged 27 points per game, over 8 rebounds, and over 4 assists for the Heat. He shot it 50% from the field. He shot it 13 for 3 from 3, which is pretty good. Mind you, he's more than doubled the attempts of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So take with that what you will. And then from the free throw line, out of 14 attempts, he made 12. So like I said, Bam was struggling with his shooting, so much so he said he had to call on a few folks. He said one of them lives in his household. Of course, he's talking about Ade Wilson. And of course, he reached out to Mr. Miami himself, Dwayne Wade, and also Adonis Haslam as well. So just to shake out of the doldrums of his shooting. And he did that, guys. So much so, he is now the player of the week in the East. So there you have it. All right, guys. So let us continue. Top stories. We'll start with Rich Paul. This guy, man. Rich Paul, we all know he's a mover and a shaker as far as being the agent. He's LeBron's agent, so let's get that right out the way. But he represents other clients as well. He now has a podcast with Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman, we know, once upon a time, was on First Take. In fact, he took over for Skip Bayless once he left. And he was on First Take with Stephen A. Smith. And then, of course, to me, I think this is the thing that he had a lot of outlandish takes. I give you that. Some were okay. Some was just far out there. But I think the sit down with Terrell Owens, where Terrell Owens called Max Kellerman more of a brother than Stephen A. Smith, I think that was kind of the nail in the coffin for him. Unfortunate, but yeah, it seemed like when it came to social issues, Max Kellerman was on the right side of history as opposed to Stephen A. Smith. Well, take with that what you will, and he's wilding out these days, but I digress. But anyhow, so now Max Kellerman has this podcast with Rich Paul. You know, they talk about a bunch of different things. Actually, they talk about other sports too, but mainly basketball. So, you know, they've had the GOAT discussion, of course. They've talked about other stuff as well. But they've been talking Lakers. They've been talking Lakers stuff. So I want to play for you, if I could, what he's been saying as of late involving the Lakers. Here's one of the first things he came out of the gate talking about as far as the Lakers. Take a listen to this. I'll put my volume back up. Take a listen to this.
I personally don't think the Lakers are good enough to be contenders right now. Not right now.
When you say contenders, what do you mean?
I don't think they have enough to get to the Western Conference Final. I don't think they have enough to get to really contend. Look, we've seen it, right? We've seen when you have the talent up top that they have, those guys can win games.
LeBron and Luka.
But also Austin's
Austin Reaves, yeah,
he's taking a step. Then when you go into the playoffs, we've seen last year, they ran into athleticism and length. They struggled. So when you look at it now, athleticism, length, shooting, speed, right? Because now, can the Lakers play fast? I don't think so.
Did you know of the Lakers' chances?
No.
Is LeBron realistically a guy who could not be on the Lakers at the end of this year?
No.
He will be on the Lakers at the end of this year.
Yeah, where's he going to go?
I mean, there are. New York comes to mind.
That's wishful thinking, Max. You're from New York. I personally don't think.
So that's one of the things he talked about. He talked about the Lakers basically kind of echoing what we've heard LeBron in the past say about, you know, he needs more help and all those sort of things. So, mind you, he has Luka, he has Austin Reaves. You bring in a DeAndre Ayton. I know a lot of people bash him, saying that he doesn't bring the fire and the desire. Take with that what you will. So you get people talking about that. Then he started talking about trade scenarios involving Austin Reaves, possibly bringing in a Jaren Jackson Jr. So, excuse me. Obviously, this wouldn't sit well with Austin Reaves' agent. So he confronts Rich Paul during a Laker game. I guess he was there, and he confronts him about the stuff he was saying about Austin Reaves. So a lot of people chimed in about it. Odd Couple, they talked about it. I will opine on it as well after I play you this sound. This is, hang on a second. This is in the aftermath of all the pushback he got when he talked about Austin Reaves. So take a listen to him trying to explain away what he said about Austin Reaves and him being on the move, and how this is somehow a compliment to Austin Reaves.
Now we get to the good stuff. There has been an enormous reaction to what you said about the Lakers and Austin Reaves on Monday.
Yes, it has.
There's been an enormous reaction. I'm talking about articles coming out. Rich Paul is ruining the Lakers. You can be entertained by, there's a ton of choices for entertainment. If you want to know what's going on, if you want to know what people will be talking about the next day, subscribe.
My man Reg, who happens to be Austin's agent, we talked. This is my guy. I mean, I've known him for 20 years, and he said, "Reg, I didn't watch the shows." Okay, so we talked about it, and I'm like, "Look, Reg, you my man, and I want Austin to know this about Austin Reaves because one, love the player, love the person, and two, I actually need him to help me with my golf game." I believe it's very complimentary to AR because he's on a team with two future Hall of Famers, and he happens to be the asset. So I'm not trying to mess up anything with AR.
I don't remember who, I think it was I who brought up.
You brought it up.
Reaves, because you were saying this is how they could get him. And you're talking about draft pick and Magic inspiring.
See, I'm starting to figure this out now, Max. I think you're doing this shit on purpose.
I'm setting you up.
So that was Rich Paul reacting to the firestorm that came after him after he talked about Austin Reaves being a trade asset. Here's my thing with Rich Paul. And I've been, as the young folks say, I've been side-eyeing him ever since the whole Bronny stuff. How he got Bronny onto the Lakers. I've been kind of side-eyeing the guy since then. Then now he wants to pop up on all these different podcasts. He was on The Pivot, all these different places. You're an agent. Shouldn't you be wheeling and dealing for your clients as far as, solidifying deals? Maybe if they're unhappy, getting them traded to a different situation. How do you have time for a podcast? How do you have time for that? That's what I want to understand with these guys. Like I say with Draymond, you're a whole basketball player. How come you have all this time to have a podcast. I don't know if he's still doing the football one, but he's doing the basketball one every week. And I'm like, where's your practice time? Where's your time getting better, helping your team get better? But I digress. You know how I do when it comes to Draymond. But let me get back to Rich Paul. Having this podcast is not good. It's not good because you know why? People are going to automatically think that what you're saying, especially about the Lakers, that you're the mouthpiece of LeBron James, and you put LeBron in a spot where he has to defend himself. If you're a friend, well, they are friends. Let me just put it. If you're a friend to LeBron James, and you're his, he's your client as well. But if you're a friend to him, why would you put him in this situation? Why would you put him in this situation? Having a podcast with you running your mouth about the Lakers, running your mouth about different scenarios to bring them closer to a championship, dealing this person and that person. It's not good. It's just not good. So I don't get it. I thought the agent's role is to be kind of in the background, less seen and, behind the scenes making moves. You're out there on Front Street. What are we doing? So I don't get that. You don't hear about any other agent with a podcast in any sport. So, Rich Paul, what are you doing? What are you doing? You strapped for cash that you got to do a podcast? I don't get it. I really don't. So maybe it's me. Maybe, I'm behind the times, but I thought a sports agent role was to get in there and make deals for his players, not get on a podcast and spill the beans about this and that. I don't get that. So maybe I'm going off the rails here. Yeah. Rich Paul, as people close to me would say, you're doing the most right now. So I'll just leave it there. So that's my take on that. I'm just going to leave it alone. All right. So let us continue. NBA All-Star starters. They named them earlier today. And here's how it shook out, guys. I believe I explained it before. I'll explain it again. 50% of it is fan vote. 50% is how the players, not 50, 25% is how the players voted. And then your 25% is the media and their vote. So when all is said and done, here's how it shook out. In the East, Giannis Antetokounmpo, number one amongst the players. Number one amongst the voting. How they broke it down. Number two, Cade Cunningham of the Detroit Pistons, the number one team in the East, by the way. In third, Tyrese Maxey, who's having a stellar year for the Philadelphia 76ers. My guy, Captain Clutch, Jalen Brunson, your fourth place player in the East, and squeezing his way in. I told you guys that there was still a lot of voting to do and all of that. Jaylen Brown squeezes in to the fifth spot, thus pushing out Donovan Mitchell. So that's your five in the East. Of course, Donovan Mitchell, we know, the coaches will probably bring him in. So, but these are your starting five. Oh, your five guys that will be starters. So there you have that. And then in the West, this is how it shook out. The Joker ends up being number one, despite being second in the fan vote, second to Luka. But the Joker gets the biggest number overall. Let's put it that way. Luka, second, number one in the fan votes. Third, SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Fourth, Steph Curry. And then fifth is Victor Wembanyama. And mind you, him and Anthony Edwards were tied. But the fact that Wemby got more to the fan vote than Edwards, he does a spot. So your five is the Joker, Luka, SGA, Steph, and Wemby. So on the outside looking in is Anthony Edwards, also a LeBron James, also a Kevin Durant, and the latest hot guy right now. So there you go. So those are your 10 players that are starters. Now, remember, guys, they're going to have the 2 U.S. teams and then the 1 world team. And then they're going to play this round robin thing. Again, I'm still confused about it as you are. But nonetheless, there you go. Now, the reserves will be named on February 1st, guys. That's on a Sunday. And it'll be announced on NBC and Peacock. That'll be during the doubleheader that they have on Sunday night, which will be the Lakers visiting Madison Square Garden to play the Knicks, and the nightcap, OKC playing the Denver Nuggets in Denver. So that'll be the night where it'll be revealed, guys, your East reserves and your winners. Again, it's still this world, U.S. versus world thing. So again, we'll figure it out as it goes. Let's just put it that way. So, all right. So that is the deal with that. So let us continue. Milestones, guys. There was a bunch of them this week. Let's start with how the week started. James Harden passes Shaquille O'Neal among career points leaders. And as of now, guys, he's like nearly 2,800 points away from Wilt Chamberlain. So the way you figure it, it'll probably take him another 2 seasons to reach Wilt and get to 8th place. Can he do it? Yeah, if health permits, sure. So James Harden starts off the week as far as the milestones. Then you had Kevin Durant. Actually, this just happened. He moved into 6th place on the career points list, passing Dirk Nowitzki, guys. So now he is in 6th place. Can reach place, which is Michael Jordan. He's over 700 points behind Jordan. It's kind of mind-boggling to believe that, but Kevin Durant can pass Jordan maybe by the season if health permits. So we'll see. But Kevin Durant climbing up the scoring chart just like his buddy James Harden. So there you go. And then also, guys, DeRozan, he now moves into 22nd place on the scoring list, guys. And he passes Kevin Garnett. And he did that on January 14th in a win against my Knicks, of course. But yeah, so DeMar DeRozan moving up the charts as well on the scoring list. So there you go. And the person ahead of him is Steph Curry. So it'll be very interesting how that goes because Steph Curry is still playing last time I checked. So there you go. But he passes Kevin Garnett. So let us continue. Klay Thompson, he passes Damian Lillard for 4th on the career 3-point goals made list. So now he's more pain. Dame is out this year with the ACL injury. So the only 3 people ahead of Klay now, Steph Curry, of course, James Harden, and Ray Allen. So Klay Thompson, he's moving up the charts as far as that goes. And he's in third place. And then also, guys, and this just happened on Sunday, where he now has scored 17,000 points as a player. Now, remember, guys, he had those 2 lost seasons. So he would probably be at 20,000 if health permitted. So take with that what you will. But Klay Thompson. And then just really cover it. Happened in late November. A bench warmer for the Miami Heat, Myron Gardner. I had to look this guy up. Myron Gardner, in street clothes on the bench for the Miami Heat, started trash talking Klay Thompson. This was on the heels of what Klay went through with Durant when he's on the sideline. So now you get this rookie coming in there talking slick about Klay Thompson. But shout out to the OG, Caron Butler, who's an assistant coach with the Miami Heat. He tightened young man up and said, look, get over there and apologize to that man. Apologize to him. So shout out to the OG, Caron Butler, for saying he went and apologized to Klay and all was right with the world. So again, shout out to Caron Butler. You need more guys like that on your bench, amongst the assistant coaches. You need that in the league. So I'm just saying. So there you go. All right, guys. So, and then one last one. DeAndre Ayton becomes the 3rd Laker to go perfect from the field, scoring at least 10 field goals and also grab 10 rebounds or more in a game. He did this in fact, he did it just recently on January 18th in a win over the Toronto Raptors, guys. In the game, he had 25 points. He went 10 for 10 from the field. And he grabbed 13 rebounds in that game. A game where you had Luka get 25. He dropped 5 threes in the game, along with 7 assists. LeBron, he had 24 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks. And for Toronto, Scotty Barnes, 22 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, 3 steals. But DeAndre Ayton making you guys. Two Lakers to do this, of course, Wilt Chamberlain. He did this in March of 1969, guys, in a win over the Detroit Pistons. 34 points, 14 for 14 from the field. And get this, 27 rebounds. Good gracious. Oh, by the way, he had 7 assists as well. Chamberlain, of course, making history as he always did. And the other Laker, and this one surprised me, Mitch Kupchak, guys. He did this in November of 1981 in a win over the San Antonio Spurs. 25 points, just like Ayton. He went 11 for 11 from the field and grabbed 17 rebounds for the win. So, DeAndre Ayton making history with this one. 2 others who made this kind of history with the Los Angeles Lakers. And you know what I say about Ayton. If Ayton plays well, the Lakers are good. If he struggles, then the Lakers may struggle. So there you go. All right, guys, let us continue. Let's talk injuries, guys. Good news on the Anfernee Davis front. Davis for Dallas Mavericks. He will not need surgery on that injured hand of his. You know, they said, look, he dodged a bullet with that. We checked the ligaments. We will reevaluate him in 6 weeks. And of course, this happened January 8th, like I said, guys, in a loss to the Utah Jazz in Utah. And it happened in the fourth quarter. Now, some may surmise that hold off on the surgery. Well, at least this is me talking in my head. That they're holding off on this surgery because we got the trade deadline in a couple of weeks, and they want to give another team hope that this guy comes back and he comes back healthy, and boom, you know, you have him on your roster. Feeling. Because it's like all of a sudden, you say you was going to get the hand surgery. Now you switched up. You know, if he got the hand surgery, there's no way you can trade him. That's what I said last week, in fact. So now you give a team out there hope that this guy could come back for the season. So I'm just saying, it just seems fishy to me, but what do I know? So Anfernee Davis not getting the surgery value in 6 weeks. Let us continue. Zach Edey for the Memphis Grizzlies. He's to miss another 6 weeks with that ankle injury. So Zach Edey, they took a look and said, you know what? Well, we're not rushing you back. So another 6 weeks. And think about it, guys. The Memphis Grizzlies aren't exactly lighting up the world. So there's no need to rush this young man. Take your time with him. When he's ready, you get him out there. So no need to rush things. So they're doing the right thing in that regard. So I'm just saying there. So Zach Edey still out with the ankle another 6 weeks. Trae Young. I talked about the Trae Young deal. I talked about it last week, guys. Atlanta officially says he's going to miss the games through All-Star break. So, you know, he's dealing with the quad injury. Now he's dealing with an ankle as well. So they're going to hold him out until the All-Star break. And, you know, that's the weekend of the Valentine's weekend, basically. So coming out of that, so we're talking about mid to late February, you'll hopefully see him out on the court. And like I said, guys, they have to see what they have in guy. They have that. That everybody's making a big deal now about the 2026 draft. I didn't hear this noise until recently that this draft is going to be so good and this and that. So, of course, they're going to want to keep the lottery pick. Of course, the Knicks will get shafted as usual. And again, I need somebody to explain to me why a team that's, a pick that's lottery protected, the next year should automatically go to the team that got stiffed. That's what I'm saying. So what do I know? But Trae Young held out until after All-Star break. Darius Garland, he's going to be out 7 to 10 days with a toe sprain. So his nightmarish season continues. This happened on January 14th in a win at the Philadelphia 76ers in the third quarter. And in that game, he did play 23 minutes, was playing well, 20.7 assists, but he goes down. Donovan Mitchell carries the load in that game, 35 points, 5 three-point shots within that, 9 assists, 7 rebounds. So Darius Garland to miss some more time, unfortunately, guys. So there you go. Of course, and Lonzo Ball will both fill the time while he's gone. So there you go. Cooper Flag, he goes down with an ankle injury for the Dallas Mavericks on January 14th, the same day as Garland, in a loss to the Denver Nuggets in the second quarter. He misses 2 games, but he's to make his return on MLK Day, going to the Garden to play the Knicks, like all the players do. All of a sudden they're cured when it's time to go. Take with that what you will. So Cooper Flag missed a couple of games, but he's back now. So there you have that. Tyler Hero, he's to miss the 5-game road trip that the Miami Heat's going to be on. And he's going to miss it because of a rib and contusion. So his nightmare season is Tyler Hero. So in the interim, Pele, Larson, and Jaime Jaquez, those are guys that'll absorb some of the minutes that, Tyler Hero would normally play. So there you go. All right, guys. Now, a few guys that return back to the lineup. Franz Wagner of the Orlando Magic. He returns just in Berlin. They played in Berlin on January 15th versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, mind you, Wagner, he missed 15 games with an ankle injury. And in that game, they won it, by the way. He played 27 minutes, 18 points, and 9 rebounds. So nearly a double-double in his first game back with the Orlando Magic. So Franz Wagner back with Orlando. Domantas Sabonis, he's back, guys, after missing 27 games with a torn meniscus. And he returns on January 16th to a win over the Washington Wizards. A game where he played 21 points. He came off the bench, guys. 21 minutes, 13 points, 5 assists. So the Kings bringing him along slowly. Sabonis, he missed that good chunk of time. So they're being very cautious with him. Played under 21 minutes off the bench. Eventually, he'll make his way back into the starting lineup, of course. But they're taking this on a game-by-game basis. So there you go. But Domantas Sabonis back for the Sacramento Kings. Jalen Durant for the Denver Detroit. He's back, guys, after missing 4 games with an ankle sprain. And he comes back on January 15th in a win over the Phoenix Suns, guys. He played 28 minutes, 16 points, 18 rebounds, 2 blocks. So business as usual for him. So, but nonetheless, he's back for the Detroit Pistons. And then he returned after missing 6 games with a calf injury. He returned for the London game. This was the London game against the Orlando Magic. And he returns to a win for the Memphis Grizzlies on the 17th of January. And in that game, he had 24 points, shot it well from the field, impressive from the 3-point line for him. So 24 points, 13 assists, 5 rebounds. And a game where Grayson Allen went crazy from 3, 33 points, 7 threes, 5 rebounds, 3 blocks. But Ja Morant back for the Memphis Grizzlies. Of course, they made a big to-do about him in practice, arguing with Vince Williams Jr. So much so, he had to defend himself after the London game, saying that, he loves Memphis. He even has a tattoo of Memphis on him, kind of stuff. So, but nonetheless, we know Ja is kind of on the outs as far as Memphis goes. So if there is a trade, it's not because he's welcoming it. It's because management wants him out. So there you have that. All right, guys. So that's it for that. Performances, guys. I'm going to run through them as quick as I can. Guys, let's talk about, somebody had a very good week. Jamal Murray had a very fine week, guys. He had 3 standout games. So I'm like, how come he didn't win Player of the Week in the West? On the 13th of January, he drops 35 points. He drops among that 5, 9 assists, 3 steals, and a win at the New Orleans Pelicans, guys. Also supported by Perry Watson, who had 31 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. And then the next night, he drops 33 points, guys, with 5 assists in a win at the Dallas Mavericks, guys. Not to be outdone, on the 17th, he drops 2 points. Among that, 5 threes, 6 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and a win at home over the Washington Wizards. So Jamal Murray had a fantastic week. I'm surprised he didn't get it, but they did lay an egg on Sunday, but that, he did his part. I'm just saying. So you could have definitely made an argument for him being Player of the Week as their team went 3-1. There you go there. A few Boston guys had some fantastic weeks. Anfernee Simons coming off the bench, 39 points, guys. And he dropped 7 threes in the game, along with 4 assists, 4 rebounds, in a January 15th win at the Miami Heat. In a game where Jaylen Brown, 27 points, 7 rebounds, and on the losing side, Norman 26 points. And then, not to be outdone, Jaylen Brown, 41 points and 6 rebounds in a January 17th win at the Atlanta Hawks. But even in that game, Sam Hauser, 30 points, guys, on 10 threes. Wow. And he ties a career highs with 3 threes made in the game with 10. Oh, there. So Boston Celtics playing well, guys, playing very well. And in the East, man. So, gotta give major props to that team. Let us continue on. A few career highs, guys. Let's start with Brice Sensabaugh for the Utah Jazz. He had high 43 points coming off the bench. Among that, 5 threes, along with 5 rebounds, 2 steals. But he does it in a loss on January 14th, a loss at the Chicago Bulls. So Brice Sensabaugh with a fantastic game. And on the other side, Nikola Vucevic, fantastic game for him, 35 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks in that game. So there you have that. Just for the Indiana Pacers, he has a career high of 29 points, guys, along with 9 rebounds, 2 blocks, 2 steals in a January 16th win over the New Orleans Pelicans, guys. Also in that game, Pascal Siakam, 27 points. He drops 4 threes, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. And then on the losing side, Zion, 27 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds. Excuse me. Let us continue on. Jalen Tyson, guys, of the Cleveland Cavaliers. He drops 39 points, guys, along with he has 7 threes in the game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and a January 16th win at the Philadelphia 76ers, guys. In a game that was close, it took a Evan Mobley dunk, game-winning dunk with 4.8 seconds to win that game, guys. On the losing side, Joel Embiid, 33 points, 5 rebounds. Tyrese Maxey, guys, 22 points. That's the story. 9 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 steals in that game for him. Wow. But they lose to the Cleveland Cavaliers. So there you go. A couple more and then we'll be done. Anthony Edwards drops a double nickel, guys, 55 points. Among that, 9 threes with 4 rebounds in a January 17th loss to the San Antonio guys. So Anthony Edwards, he had missed the prior couple of games before this one, by the way. And it's in a loss, like I said. Victor Wembanyama, fantastic game, 39 points. He gets 4 threes, along with 9 rebounds, 2 blocks. And then De'Aaron Fox, 25 points, 12 assists for him. And yes. Yes, this is the game I wanted to talk about. Julius Randle, 29 points. He gets 4 threes, along with 8 rebounds, 6 assists, in a January 13th win at the Milwaukee Bucks, where they win 139 to 106, guys. Absolute trouncing. So much, guys, that the fans start booing, and Giannis, what he does, he boos back at the fans. So a lot of people say, he shouldn't do that, and you shouldn't boo the fans. Don't get in a war with the fans. You always lose. But Giannis, your team laid the egg, man. What you expect? Mind you, this Timberwolves win if Anthony Edwards, and remember, they didn't have Rudy Gobert. He got the 6th flagrant foul, so he had to sit this game out. So you were out two of your starters, and you still crushed them in Milwaukee. Wow. So yeah, I thought that was not too good. So there you go. There, Luka drops 42 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds, 4 steals in a January 12th loss to the Sacramento Kings. And also Luka, again, later in the week, on January 15th, in a loss, 39 points. He gets 6 threes in that game, 4 assists in a loss to the Charlotte Hornets. In a game where LaMelo Ball gets 30, but he drops 9 threes in the game. Wow. 11 assists, 6 rebounds as well. Brandon Miller, 26 points, 5 assists. LeBron in that game, 29 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. So there you go there. So, KD. He has a season high of 39 points. He dropped 6 threes in a game. In a January 16th win over the Minnesota Timberwolves, in a game where Julius Randle matches KD, 39 points of his own, along with 4 rebounds. And then Alperen Sengun for the Rockets, 25 points, 14 rebounds in that win. All right, guys. So you know what? I'm going to hold a couple of these over because I'm going to do an MLK episode. So I'll hold a couple of these until then. But I will quickly do my E-tie. So without any further delay, let's do it. At number 5, Boston. It's pretty much the same as last week, guys. Boston at 26-15. You got different players rising to the occasion for Boston. So there you go there. Their schedule this week at Detroit, back at home playing Indiana, at Brooklyn, and then at Chicago in a back-to-back, actually. So Boston Celtics rolling right now. Number 4, the Denver Nuggets. They're still playing well without the Joker, guys. They're at 29-14, guys. This week, they have the Lakers at home. They have a back-to-back playing the Washington Wizards. Then the next night, the Milwaukee Bucks. And then later in the week, they're at the Memphis Grizzlies. So nice little schedule ahead. A few tests here and there, but they're playing very well. The San Antonio Spurs still balling at 29-14. Now, in a sign of solidarity, Victor Wembanyama and Keldon Johnson shaved their heads after the OKC loss that they absorbed last week. This week, they get Utah at home. They go on the road to face the Houston Rockets. They go at Utah, so they get Utah twice this week. And then at home, they get the New Orleans Pelicans. So there you go there. So another fine week that the Spurs can have. Number 2, the Detroit Pistons at 30-40, guys. Jalen Duren is back and all is right with the world, guys. So there you go there. On their schedule, Boston at home, at the Pelicans, and New Orleans, Houston, and Sacramento. So there you go there. And then the number 1 team, OKC, could be missing Jalen Williams with a hamstring injury. I'll talk about that when I do the MLK. 36-8. Their schedule this week at Cleveland, at Milwaukee, and then 2 home games, the Pacers and the Raptors. So there you go. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. As always, all things basketball with GD.com. MILESTONES.com is the website. My clips, my episodes. Also, guys, my YouTube channel. Go over there as well. Like the videos and all that sort of stuff. Comment as well. Also, guys, I'm on all the podcast platforms. Apple, all the places. 5-star reviews. Also, guys, donate button. Donate on the website. I have 3 buttons: PayPal, buy me a coffee, Spotify, donate, and in the scroll I have Cash App, $GD, that's Sports Dude. So there you go there. Also, guys, as far as socials, Instagram, TikTok, some Blue Sky, some Facebook. And also, remember, guys, live from Hawaii, guys, I'm going to bring you the show. I'll do the MLK show. Probably I'll push that out very soon. But my week 14 recap will be in Hawaii, guys. So definitely stay tuned for that. Thank you as always, guys. Your listenership is so important to what we do. And we'll talk soon. Take care.